One day, as I was investigating a particular area of the Southwest known for its abundance of Native American petroglyphs, I began poking around on Google Earth when something peculiar caught my eye. I noticed these nearly perfect circles on top of these mesas. The closer I looked, the less natural the structures appeared, and the more curious I became. So I set out to get to the bottom of this mystery, and along the way I encountered a plethora of intricate relics. This is incredible. But then I began to notice a pattern in the petroglyphs and was compelled to believe that maybe they had some connection to those circles up on the mesa. That is what we're trying to get to. What's going on, everybody? Johnny out west here. Welcome back to the channel if you're new here. Thanks so much for checking it out. Currently hiking up some elevation. Pretty steep, lots of boulders, lots of rocks. Trying to figure my way up here. Today we are hiking into an area that is known for its abundance of ancient artifacts. Seems like there's going to be a lot of rock imagery to be seen along this hike, but the main thing that I'm looking to find here is I saw on Google Earth these perfect circles. They look like some sort of ruin, so I want to hike out to them and see what they are. I invite you all to sit back, relax, enjoy the hike. Who knows, you just might see something interesting. All right, so I'm pretty sure what we're doing is hiking up and going in between those two bridges right through there. Well, a little bit of bad news. Last time I was out hiking and flying my drone, I, for the first time ever, crashed my drone. At the time, I thought I just needed to replace a couple of propellers. I've now learned that that is not the case. I just tried to fly the drone and it immediately kind of flipped over, broke the propellers again. So, number one, I was planning on using the drone to find the structures. Number two, I was hoping to give you all some gorgeous aerial views of this landscape, and unfortunately, I'm not gonna be able to do that today. Apologies about that, but it's not gonna stop us today. I still think we'll be able to find the structures, and you can bet that we are still gonna find some other types of artifacts, so stick around, but just kind of wanted to fill you all in on that. Look at this huge pile of tumbleweeds just everywhere here. All right, well, good news, everyone. I have spotted the first petroglyph site. Nice dark sandstone wall over here in the distance. Big circles. Hard to say what they are, but yeah, exciting. Let's get in there. Doesn't really seem to be anything in specific, unless they could be indicating the ruin structures. More up here. This is kind of cool. This looks to be a person figure, and I wonder if this is some kind of map. Hopefully you can see that decently. Awesome. Well, let's keep moving along, see what else we can find. Pretty sure this big structure here is a gold mine of artifacts. We're in closer, but I don't see anything yet. Here we go. Kind of hard to make out here, but looks like we have two people, maybe an animal below them. Not really sure what the rest is. As a lot of you know, some of these petroglyphs really stand out. Some of them really don't. So I'm trying to search closely and make sure I don't miss anything, because I just can only imagine how many things that I and other people have missed out here. As I rounded this corner and saw this huge, pristine sandstone wall, I said, there's gotta be something, and sure enough, oh my gosh, this is incredible. Love that. 2 little babies. Actually, gonna try to stay to the left so that I'm not casting a shadow and obstructing anyone's view. This is kind of interesting. There's something that is attached from this animal to this figure here, which just looks like a cross. This looks like a stork or a heron. All right, now this is where it gets a little more interesting. Well, first, let's get this bighorn sheep, it looks like, but it appears as though it has 8 feet. Sometimes it is said that figures with extra toes or feet or limbs are considered wise animals or people. So I wonder if there's some sort of tie-in here. We have some infamous bear paws. This looks maybe like a pronghorn. Interesting, this one has some short, stumpy legs. Now this is where it gets kind of crazy. Never seen anything quite like this. Have to imagine this is a map of some sorts. This little guy right here is something else. I want to get in closer on this one. This is an interesting one too, over on the right. Here we are, up closer. I'm up close to this wall, but I'm being extra careful not to rub against these petroglyphs. Here we go. I think I glossed right over this one. Looks like a fox. Don't think I've ever seen a fox glyph. That might be my favorite one here. Well, gotta say, this is a fantastic kind of dispersed panel. I'm gonna keep working along this greater rock structure, see what else we come across. Stay tuned. Well, in my experience, when you see something like this, all this sprawling rock wall that's dark black sandstone, it's a very good sign. Oh, look at this. Some sort of print with 7 toes, I guess. This guy looks like a dinosaur. Whoa. It just gets better and better, my friends. What? This is incredible. That is a truly mind-bending image. I don't even know what to make of that. This is a big, almost shaman-looking figure with, hard to say how many fingers, definitely some sort of headdress. Brings us to this really interesting and mysterious figure. Now this here, we see this body shape quite frequently, and this might fall into the basket maker style, but you see that body shape. But it's so interesting how it's inside of this other thing. Looks like an animal head, human legs. See, we have another similar shaped kind of person, and then some little baby animals. That's so cool. Well, my friends, I hope you're not tired of seeing petroglyphs, because as of now, there's no end in sight. Tell you what, I thought I had seen maybe the most impressive thing yet, but this might actually outdo the last. It's just a line of people figures holding hands. From afar, it just looks like a pattern. Up here we have a big elk-looking fella. Well, good news, everyone. Wasn't even really trying, but I spotted one of the ruined structures off in the distance. I'd say that's half a mile, 3/4 of a mile ahead. I just am not really sure how difficult they're going to be to access. They're up on the mesa, so I want to start to try and focus on that. But of course, I'm still going to be on the lookout for petroglyphs. My goodness, these petroglyphs are insane. This is unbelievable. That is something. I mean, the amount of time this must have taken is just inconceivable. This is just beautiful. Cool pattern up here too. Okay, now this is interesting. I mean, these have got to be rabbits, but they look a whole lot like kangaroos. Well, it's like you hike 50 yards or less, and then there's just more and more. Got this big fat sheep, I guess. It's huge. 2 feet maybe. And then some beautifully defined big guys over here. Oh, again, interesting. Another one with 8 feet. It's funny. Now that I have worked my way down, I'm trying to make sense of where this ruin is. Got a little bit caught up in those petroglyphs. I want to say it's up here, which from this side, there's absolutely no way up without ropes. So I'm going to kind of hike around and figure this out. So we just hiked down along here. This is the cliff that we've been hiking along with all the petroglyphs. Now I'm going to kind of go around this way and see if there's a way up. Because again, I think the circle structure is up here. I was wrong. It's not up here. I'm pretty sure what I need to do is hike up here, up onto this ledge, and then down this way. And I believe they're up here. It's just obviously I'm at a completely different vantage point than I was back there. And so things are looking a little different. But yeah, I think up here is where I want to go. Here we go. So yeah, I think we can kind of go along this little shelf, and then right there, you see those small trees. I think we can scramble up that way. All right, now we're kind of up on this first shelf. Man, I'll tell you what, I know they're far, but these sandstone structures off in the distance are frickin' beautiful. Definitely have to be very, very careful here. Slipping on this will have consequences. It really was not so bad, and looks like we have a pretty clean shot. Holy crap, right behind me. Insane. Tons of stuff here. So yeah, let's see if this is at all visible right there. If you can see that, that is what we're trying to get to. Amazing. Just makes you wonder how many petroglyphs, pictographs, and artifacts are out there. And if there's even enough time in this life to explore them all. I think the obvious answer is no. I think it's right here. Yeah, I believe it's right up there. It's my only option right here. I don't know if I can do that. I think this is my only possible entry point. So I'm gonna unload the backpack and see if we can get up here. It's kind of one of those situations where you can just wedge a part of your body kind of in between the crevices to lift up and drop down. It's kind of a cool view. Now we are up on top. Here it is. Wow. Well, I have to imagine that this was an outpost, kind of a defensive structure. Not a half bad view. And the other one is way up there, which I would try to get to, but that would be considerably more complicated because of this that we saw earlier. Whoa. Ooh, I just got chills. It's about a 30-foot gap that I just don't feel like jumping today, but yeah, it's up there on top of that ridge. Just look at this view. This is what life is all about, my friends. At least in my opinion. Whew, I definitely get a little vertigo when I get close to these cliff edges. Check this out. Another little compartment. They even built this little doorway kind of thing. And then you have these rocks stacked up along the edge here. It's pretty interesting. Yeah, you know, I was listening to a podcast on my way down to the area that I'm exploring today, and it was about the Anasazi Civil War that kind of time period when a lot of the Native American population and the Anasazi population left Chaco Canyon. The podcast talked a little bit about just kind of the reality of the lifestyle that the Anasazi lived, especially after leaving Chaco Canyon, which was, kind of was a community, supposedly somewhat of a safe place for people to live and kind of flourish. But when they left, it almost sounded like the lifestyle was one of stress and fear. And I feel like this outpost, even though, survival is mandatory and anyone would do what they need to do to survive, and maybe this is just a part of it, but it almost feels like this is perhaps representative of that theme, is when the Anasazi were living throughout this particular region. I just don't know how much true community there was and how much peace of mind there was for those people. It makes you wonder if they were able to look out onto these landscapes with a bit of peace of mind and enjoyment like we're able to do today. Sure hope they were at some point. Well, super excited I found a way up here. That was kind of the big mystery of this whole trip is, would I be able to get to the thing that I wanted to get to? As a matter of fact, the past 2 trips that I've done, I came up empty-handed, so to speak. I mean, it's always great to get out into the wilderness, into nature, go for a hike. That's always a win-win, really. But, of course, a big part of this, of filming and everything, is to share it with you all. So, can't be too upset about it. But if anyone is interested in seeing those videos, I plan to start posting those on my Patreon page. If any of you are so compelled to join in and support Johnny Out West, that would be amazing, and that would be so appreciated, and that would really help me in continuing to make this free content on YouTube, but especially more frequently. I'm sure a lot of my viewers have noticed that I really don't post that often, and it's purely because of the fact that life gets in the way. I have a couple jobs, and so with the limited time that I have, I get out here, I explore, and I shoot, and it's my favorite thing. I mean, it would be fantastic if I could get to a weekly video cadence, but as things stand right now, I'm far from that. But hey, look, the fact that I'm able to do it at all is a blessing, right? I'm super grateful for just doing this alone. I'm super grateful that I have people out there that are interested in this content and enjoy it. If anyone here is interested in checking out the podcast that I mentioned, I can't recommend it enough. It's called the American Southwest Podcast, and it's done by a new friend of mine named Thomas Wayne Riley. And there's just so much good stuff there to listen to and learn, and he's such a fantastic storyteller, so I can't recommend it enough. I'll include the link to his podcast in the description of this video, so show him some love. There are a few petroglyphs I kind of zipped past because I wanted to make sure I had enough time to try and get up to the ruin, so maybe we'll kind of take a look at a couple of these that I didn't stop at. Unfortunately, these have been really graffitied over, which you hate to see. Well, everybody, happy to say this has been a successful adventure with lots of beautiful findings. I really hope that you all enjoyed the hike today. Hope you enjoyed coming along for the ride. If you haven't already, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, because there's going to be many, many more Western adventures coming soon. Thank you all so much. This is Johnny Out West, signing off. See y'all.